Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Another high-profile heavyweight, Filip HRGOVIC, looks to be chasing an Olympic dream. He wants to go for Olympic gold. So see here on screen, here is a video from RTL. So I'm not going to play that obviously because I don't understand Croatian and I'm sure few of you would, but the caption underneath it reads that preparations are already going on. Filip HRGOVIC and Marko Milan, who still face in the ring, deciding who will go to the Tokyo Olympic qualifier. And for the first time, Filip's former coach will be on the other side, and after that HRGOVIC returns to professional obligations. And there's been rumblings for some time that Filip HRGOVIC is looking at the Tokyo Olympics, that he wants to pursue that dream of Olympic gold, which is the pinnacle of the amateur game, something he got so close to 4 years ago in Rio. Bronze medal at Rio. He was beaten by Tony Yoka. Arguably, some think he won that fight, and then Yoka went on to have a controversial fight with Joe Joyce, Yoka becoming the gold medalist that one. But Filip HRGOVIC walks away with a bronze. But in terms of going to the Olympics, and we'll just sort of traverse a few issues here, there's going to be some sort of, I think, divided opinion on whether pros should be able to drop down, and obviously some sanctioning bodies aren't happy with that, and we will come to that. But Filip HRGOVIC, you'd have to make a case that if he goes to the Tokyo Olympics, he's got a decent shot of actually not just medaling, but getting the gold medal. And another heavyweight prospect, Bakodir Jalolov, he's booked his place to Tokyo. He won gold at the World Championships in 2019, and on his route to that gold medal, he brutally knocked out a guy called Richard Torres. Bakodir Jalolov, a big 6'7", powerful, fast-handed southpaw. He wrecked Torres on his way to getting that gold medal. And Jalolov, 6 professional fights, drops down. You look at Filip HRGOVIC, he's got 10 professional fights. He's been a pro since 2017. 10 fights on the ledger, the most recent against Eric Molina. And in the context of his career, it certainly can be argued that where he is at the moment, 10 wins, 8 knockouts, he's a blue chip prospect. He's on the precipice of doing something very good in his career in the heavyweight division. He's about to take that sort of next step in his career from some of those lower level fights to the real step up tests. But I guess, the lure of the Tokyo Olympics 2020, later in the year, second half of the year, just could be too much. And maybe he's feeling that Rio, he needs to sort of wipe that ledger clean, get the gold medal, and he can resume with his professional career. And at 27 years old, arguably, he's still coming into his prime. So if he went to the Olympics, I think he would be a favourite, along with Bakodir Jalolov, and then there's a couple of others as well floating around the amateurs who haven't turned pro, like Australia's Justice Huni, who seems to be a very good heavyweight prospect on the way through at the moment. But HRGOVIC, you can make a case here with him and Jalolov, and some people have been, just regarding, not together but separately, they've mentioned these, different fighters going to the pros, that there is an element of safety, that amateurs should be fighting amateurs, not guys who've been in the pro ranks for, the best part 3-4 years now, which HRGOVIC and Jalolov have been since the last Olympics. They're much more well-rounded fighters now, and they've been earning professional money, and the WBC in particular, not happy with pros going to the amateurs. And here is actually something from their most recent convention. WBC will ban pros who fight in Tokyo Olympics for 2 years. So it says in the first line that they'll face a winter of discontent plus 2 more seasons out in the cold. And Mauricio Suleiman, WBC president, says they're simply expelled from WBC activity for 2 years. So a very strong stance from the WBC, but with professional boxing, 4 major sanctioning bodies. The WBC is not the only avenue, and this obviously isn't going to act as a deterrent for everyone. You may recall Andy Ruiz Jr. flirted with the idea of going to the Olympics briefly, but then the WBC sort of put this out, and all of a sudden Ruiz sort of said, yeah, it was just an idea, it's not going to happen. So he sort of changed his tune very quickly. But obviously it didn't deter Bakirdar Jalolov, who, went to the World Championships and did very well for himself, got the gold medal, booked his place for Tokyo. And with Filip HRGOVIC now looking to have a potential fight against a countryman and then go to the Olympic qualifiers, because, against his countrymen who I just named before, you'd imagine HRGOVIC would be a red-hot favourite. And if he went to the qualifying tournament, also a red-hot favourite to make it. So if he does want to go, he probably is going to get there. And in terms of the other sanctioning bodies, the WBA has actually been open to the idea of pros going to the Olympics. So recently, Gilberto Mendoza actually sent a letter. This is a WBA letter on screen you can see here, saying, on behalf of the great family of the World Boxing Association, a pioneer in governing pugilism, I'm honoured to preside over. I want to express our full support to professional boxers in Mexico who wish to participate in the qualifying tournament for the next Olympic Games. So this was a piece of correspondence that ended up getting out on social media, and I mean, there's nothing wrong about that, but it does express the support from the WBA to professional boxers going to the Olympics. And the WBO is also okay with its champions to participate in qualifiers or the games itself. So there is some support within the sanctioning bodies, a bit of a green light for some of these, not just heavyweights, but for professional boxers in general. But often you don't see heavyweights dropping back down in pursuing Olympic gold, and now it looks like we have two, and where there's two, there could actually be more. Sometimes it doesn't take much to burst the damn wall, and maybe there will be some other young pros out there going, actually, I had a good campaign leading up to Rio. I either didn't qualify or I made the games but didn't end up medaling or doing as well as they thought. That they might go, actually, I might have another crack. So we could potentially see that. And Olympic gold can be very good for a career, and sometimes just a medal itself. I mean, HRGOVIC himself was a bronze medalist from Rio, so he's probably looking to, go one step further at the next games later this year. And in terms of guys like Tony Yoka, he's done well for himself, the Rio gold medalist. He's obviously a decent sort of sporting sort of star in France, on pretty decent money for a guy fighting exclusively in France on Canal. And then you have Anthony Joshua, the former champion from 2012, and you look at his career, so it can be a springboard to something much more. But yeah, what do you make of this? I mean, obviously there's going to be arguments about fighter safety from, some quarters. The WBC obviously doesn't want pros dropping down. There's been a number of, boxing pundits out there who think it's dangerous. Guys who've, been seasoned pros over a number of years dropping down. I guess in the instance of Bakirdar Jalolov and now Filip HRGOVIC, you can argue they're still in the early stages of their professional career, but should someone who's, maybe been a world champion before decide, actually, I want to have a crack? I mean, maybe that would alter people's perceptions. Or it should be, some will argue that no pros should be allowed. But the rules are there. They allow professionals to drop back down. We've seen Jalolov do it. He's qualified for the Olympics, and HRGOVIC may look to follow him. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.